Hey everybody, this video is going to go over the third essay that you had to read for the arguing value exercise sample essays. So the third essay was higher education through discombobulation. The first question for that essay asked you what the main claim was for the essay. And basically what Chitwood is saying is that students need to feel discombobulated at times because cognitive disequilibrium creates a motivating challenge to students to explore and take risks as they step out of their comfort zone. If you want to kind of boil that down to simpler words, she thinks that students need to feel confused at times because dealing with that confusion leads to a deeper understanding of the topic they're learning about. So confusion is good. That's what she's saying. What argument is this essay a response to? Specifically, it's in response to an article written by Simon Binlow called Have It Your Way, Consumerism and Education. So she read that and she is kind of furthering the argument, offering her own take on it. She is in agreement with Binlow, but she's offering her own unique take on the issue. In more general sense, her essay is in response to the argument that students shouldn't feel any type of confusion or discombobulation while they're learning. Okay. What are some of the support techniques, the support strategies that she uses to help us to get us to accept her claim? She uses testimony. She talks about her personal experience in the military and with that feeling of discombobulation and confusion. She quotes several authorities throughout the essay. She gives us some statistics throughout the essay. She has very specific lines of reasoning that she uses throughout the essay. She even has an appeal to ethos in a way. I mean, not only is she quoting the authorities, but her own ethos because she has served in the military, and many of us are likely to kind of offer that kind of respect unless that person proves they don't deserve it despite being in the military. But we have a tendency to want to listen to people who have served. So she kind of has her own ethos going on there. And then she has this value appeal, how we value education, how we value knowledge and wisdom. And then the claim itself is obviously a claim of value. So she uses several different supporting techniques throughout the essay. The fourth question, number 4, asks what other support strategies might she have used and why. I'm not going to get into that in this video. I think that was a personal question for each of you. What other types of strategies do you think she could have used? So I'm interested to see what your responses were to that question. Question number 5 is, how does Chitwood's voice help the reader understand and accept her position? All right, so you'll notice that in parts of the essay, she uses the personal pronoun I and me. So she inserts herself into the essay at times. And then she has the whole middle section where she's offering her supporting evidence. And if you notice, a lot of the paragraphs in that middle section, they begin with a very clear, simple sentence. And then she moves into the support for it. So for instance, after she talks about her personal experience in the military and how that it's good to feel confused, to have that discombobulation, the next paragraph starts with, evidence from academic research supports this theory. Very short, simple sentence, and then she gets into the academic research. We must all face confusion at times. Boom. And then she moves into more. She has this knack of starting with a very simple sentence and then moving into her supporting evidence. And then after she presents this supporting evidence, what's interesting is that the pronoun is no longer I or me, it's we. So it's almost like after she has provided the evidence, she has included us in her perspective. We have now joined the argument with her. It's very subtle and it's kind of tricky in a way, but it's kind of cool. You know, she just assumes that after she has presented the supporting evidence that we are in agreement with her, and she just very nonchalantly puts us in with her line of thinking. It's not just I and me anymore, it's we, it's us. So if you aren't paying attention, you know, you have just agreed with her whether you meant to or not. If you're not paying close attention, you might walk away thinking that you totally agreed with everything she said, but maybe you didn't. But she is just assuming that you did, and she's taking us along with her. We're right there by her side now. It's kind of a cool thing. How could she make her argument more insightful? By introducing more opposition. I think one thing that she should have done is maybe mention specific people or specific groups who oppose her claim. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if she's presenting this argument that confusion is good, the value of confusion and discombobulation, I don't think she really goes into enough of why others might disagree. She does mention the opposition for sure, but I just think that if she had given us even more information about their point of view, it would have been a little more helpful. Also, maybe if she had included more student perspectives. I mean, the research is showing that students do better when they're faced with confusion and discombobulation. It'd be interesting to hear some student perspectives, especially students, because she does admit that, you know, not all students are going to succeed when faced with confusion and discombobulation, and that some are going to need extra support to get through the confusion, right? It'd be interesting to hear some perspectives from actual people who fall into that category. Those are just my thoughts. You may have come up with other ways that she could have used the opposition more in the essay. So I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say about that. I think it's a really cool essay to think about, and especially since you guys are students right now, how you landed on this issue. I wish there was even more to it to read about. Maybe that original essay that she refers to, Have It Your Way. But it's interesting to think about, because we always assume that the best instructors basically like hold our hand and walk us through all of the materials so that we never experience confusion, that their job is to make sure we never question, that we understand everything from start to finish. And this essay is saying, not necessarily. Sometimes you learn better when you're just kind of thrown in the deep end and forced to learn how to swim. You'll never forget how to swim if you do it that way. And that's an interesting thought. So I'm interested to see what you guys had to say about this essay. If you have any questions or any additional comments, feel free to let me know. But the main thing you want to take away from this is how she argues a claim of value. Even if you completely disagree with her claim that confusion is good in the learning process. Although if you do disagree, I would urge you to think more about it. Nobody likes confusion. Nobody likes that feeling. But that doesn't mean it can't be useful. So just because we don't like it and we're uncomfortable with it, doesn't mean it's not effective. So if you disagreed with her, think about that. But even if you did disagree with her, even if you did totally agree with her, again, the main idea here, we're not evaluating her argument and we're not looking at whether we agree or disagree, really. We're looking at how she put together a claim of value. So think mostly about those things. Again, if you have any questions or comments, let me know. Otherwise, you guys are free to move on to the next thing in the module.